America is really just capitalist society, bro. It's more, I feel like it's more capitalist than racist. So it might be a crazy take, but money speaks, bro.
So black dude, probably like over 6 foot, scruffy face, hasn't, gotten a lineup in a while, probably got a whole bunch of dreadlocks and then his pants tight as heck. He probably think he gonna do some stuff. But is that being stereotypical or prejudice? Is that being racist? Because if that's the case, then I guess I'm racist too, because that's the first thing that's coming to my mind. Let's go ahead and get to the next prompt. This one is gonna be in regards to how obtaining real wealth takes time. Sucker is not quick. Let's go ahead and check that bad boy out.
In my 20s and 30s is that real wealth takes time. This whole idea that we can just get wealth quick, get rich fast. I want to be rich when I'm 35 years old because I've been watching so-and-so on IG. That's hogwash, right? What's a better way? That's baloney, right? What's a good way to put that that's nice? It's not real. Wealth is not built because, I get hyped up and I get excited about doing something. Wealth is built on control.
Bro, the stories I have,
period, man. Being intentional for decades, right? And stability, financial stability is very, very important. Not get rich quick. Make it happen today, fast. I want to get rich. That's why things like crypto is so appealing to so many, especially young people, because they see it as a way to make a whole bunch of money really fast. Now, listen, there's nothing wrong with crypto. I'm not beating up crypto. I'm just saying real wealth takes time. And it's sometimes when you're in your 20s and 30s, you just don't see it. You don't understand that you're going to be 40 at one point, right? Mm-hmm. At some point, you're going to be 55. You're going to be 60 years old. And a lot of times we don't see the vision. We don't understand the progress. We don't really see what we're going to become between the ages of 30 and 50. It's the same. Think about it. If you're 35 or 40 years old, just imagine back when you was 20 and 25. The wisdom that you gained from 25 to 35 is the same amount of wisdom that you're going to gain from 35 to 45. We don't see that far in the future when we're 25 and 35 years old. But I'm telling you, the future's coming. What are you going to be when it gets here? Where's your money going to be when it gets here? Right? And that takes me to another.
Okay. So, oh man. Oh God. College, bro, being broke in the middle of nowhere is tragic, man. I tell you. So the reason I'm laughing while he's talking about this, because I remember vividly, mind you, when I was in college, no jobs was hiring a dude. No tall black man over 6'5", none like that. There was not hiring me for nothing. And it was annoying because I was applying to jobs, applying to campus positions and stuff like that. I just wasn't getting absolutely nothing up until my very last year of working into college, and that was because my homeboy was working at Chick-fil-A, became a manager, and then was able to put in a reference for me. Outside of that, I was applying, and mind you, I applied to that Chick-fil-A for all 6 of my years that I was there, and I didn't get it until my last year, which crazy, but it is what it is. So what was I doing in the midst of all that? I was involved in almost every Ponzi pyramid scheme in the book. And it was tragic because the whole time I'm like, I can make this amount of money. I can make this much money. I just got to get this person get on, that person go. I'm hitting up people, trying to get them involved in all that stuff, not even realizing I wasn't really going to make no money off of this thing unless I don't even know who actually is the one that makes the money off of that thing. And then what made things worse, there was this one, I don't even know if it's actually legit, but this a whole nother pyramid scheme thingy, but they try to make it seem like it wasn't a pyramid scheme. I don't even know who told me about it, but I got in a car. I was with one of my homeboys. got in the car, drove to some off-campus apartment, and I'm thinking it's like a frat house or something like that. But we go inside. I see a whole bunch of, moon blood just standing around. They got their shorts or their cargo shorts and all that, and their button-up shirts. And I was just like, yo, what type of place is this? Like, what we gonna be doing? So it was essentially, what was it called? It's not called Reverb. Verb? Maybe not Verb. It was some like soda drink or something like that was supposed to be like the next best thing, and they were trying to get it out to like sell to people or whatever. The whole thing just seemed like a whole setup to get people to sign up and then try to do it. I never did it. I went to like 2 meetings and I was like, yeah, nah, I ain't about it. But so essentially how the dude set it up was, there was this main guy that ran the whole thing. I think it was his apartment or somebody else's apartment, I don't know. And everybody was there, and then they had like of course a flat screen TV that was big as heck. They turned off the lights and they were all just standing around it, and next thing you know, they have this whole like production thing. It's like a whole bunch of hype jumping, like crunk music and all that stuff. And like everybody's getting hyped, and they got their own I don't even remember what the catchphrase was, but it was like this phrase that they said, and then everybody said it at the same time. And I'm just like, oh, okay. Every 5 minutes we clapping about something. I'm like, wait, what is all this crap about?
Sound like a cult.
Yes. Yeah. That's exactly what it was. It was just weird, man. And essentially it was like trying to get vending machines with a specific drink out in the public and all that stuff. But I'm like, I've never heard of this, and we're right next to college town, so I'm confused as to what's really going on here. And I think at that point I was already at my third pyramid scheme, because I don't know, something told me like, one of these pyramid schemes are going to work. They never did. So that was a tragic thing about me and my experience when it comes to trying to get, that goes to the point that he was making, trying to get rich quick. Now granted, I was just trying to make money at that point, but it was like a quick method for me, because it's like nothing else is working type stuff. But yep, it's a thing. And now we have, what do we call those? We call those grifters that make it seem like they can get you tens of thousands of dollars just off of YouTube or Instagram and stuff like that. You just got to sign up for their class and whatnot, and they really ain't got nothing going on. But it's highly unfortunate, but a lot of people out there in the world actually do this and try to do this for a living, which I guess is the term grifters, and they just getting people to sign up for these stuff. But it's that mindset of just wanting to have that quick money, quick, fast, easy money, and a lot of times it don't work out. It definitely does not work out. So with that being said, social media is full of 23-year-olds claiming they made $50K flipping crypto or drop shipping. Do you believe these people?
You know what? I feel like a lot of the ones that I be seeing, it's really easy to believe them. And I'm the type that goes like, it's like you're innocent until proven guilty. So I'm not gonna sit here and try to decipher whether or not you lying to me through a 60-second video. So most of the time, I would say like I believe it at face value. Whatever they're talking about, I believe it worked for them, because they would not be, majority of the time, it's rare to find somebody who's not passionate about what they're talking about enough to sit in front of a camera, edit all the videos, post it with their face, like their whole identity. Maybe if it's not even their real name, whatever the case is, they're talking about this business idea that works for them, right? So I would say 8 out of 10 times they're being genuine. Now, as far as if it's gonna work for me or anyone else they're advertising that idea to, that's a different story. I personally, bro, if it wasn't for my laziness, I'd probably be in a bunch of those things, bro. No cap. I have a natural laziness for like for I guess we could call them like Ponzi schemes and stuff like that, like, or even new ideas that just find me that I had no interest in whatsoever, specifically through like social media, since that's the topic of the question. Let's say like my laziness saves me from even trying to, even like falling into debt, wasting time with those things. So I wouldn't even know if a lot of them were true or if they work for some people, but I see a lot of those ads, bro. And then they be having like reviews with other people, that have went through their programs and stuff. So there's some of them, especially the ones that have those reviews that they really they come off very genuine. They look like brand new people every time. They're just doing like a live conversation like this. And the testimonies of those people are basically them saying how it worked for them and stuff. So it's like there's some real ones out there for sure, but I don't think they're all about getting rich quick. If anything, bro, if the whole selling point is based on the fact that you're gonna get funds very quickly, that's a red flag off rip. And that's when my laziness kicks in. Like I'm blind and deaf to the whole thing. Like, all right, cool, quick money, right? All right, cool. That sounds fun. Scroll.
Scroll. Hey, don't worry, man. Your phone already heard you, and it's about to start pulling all that.
Yeah. Now it's about to hit me with some reverse psychology, right?
Yeah.
That FBI agent be working overtime, right?
Overtime, man. I tell you. All right, so 70% of Gen Z get their financial advice from social media, TikTok, and the gram. What's the best money advice that you got from the internet, and the worst, aside from this video?
Okay. I mean, there's been a lot of gems, bro. There's been a lot of gems. I'm trying to find one that stuck with me the most, because I'm pretty sure I actually heard of 401ks through the social media. I got more kind of detail about what that was like. That is beneficial. I still got to do some research on that, though.
You know what's interesting now that we're talking about this? So I'm thinking about like what you were saying. There's a lot of interesting information online and stuff, and how you got introduced to like some 401k stuff. I immediately thought about the other people, or like the people that's out here giving these advices, especially when it comes to the black community. You know how I love talking about the black community. And like, you always hear from this, the white man is, they're the ones that's doing all these things, got the Roth IRAs, got this stuff, all this wealth, and then we not doing anything with our money and stuff like that. We just letting it whisk away and all that good jazz. And it's like, I don't know, it's like we keep hearing that same line over and over again, as though generations has passed within the last couple years. And I don't know, it's just weird to me, because it's like the if we're going to talk about the white Americans and how they've had generational wealth and stuff like that, yeah, they had generations of their parents telling them how to manage their money. We are now finally in that mindset to be able to do that. And even then, there are still those of African American descent that's been in America that has taught their kids about generational wealth. It's not something that they spread amongst other people, I guess. I don't know. It's not common information that's spread out. So people make it seem like all the white people are just told how to handle money, this, that, and the third. It's like, nah, there's definitely broke white people. There's definitely white people that just spend money off a dime, just like black Americans do. It's just that, I don't know, maybe there's not as much, or depending on where you live, I don't know. It's just it's weird, but it's like every time when I hear about advice, especially when it comes to the Black Americans, they're heavy. Like they, of course, they're going to be heavy on making sure that this information is spread out. But it's like this is the time that we're getting this information, so this is the time to try to spread it out to as much people as possible, so that they can do what they can for this generation and the next generation, as opposed to making it seem like there's several generations that's passed by and still nothing has happened. But then again, I don't know. I guess it just really depends on the time frame that we're talking about.
Yeah, I mean, it's like one of those things they try to credit race for.
Yeah,
but it's deeper. It's deeper than race, bro, and it's getting to the point where it has nothing to do with race anymore. Like, it's all about who has the knowledge, who has the information, who's spreading the information, and who's retaining the information. Mm-hmm. And that's why there's plenty white people who are broke, homeless. There's plenty black people who are rich too, wealthy. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I've seen a lot of conventions going on centered around the black community that are purely focused on talking about finances and financial literacy, what to do, what not to do, like entrepreneurship and stuff like that. So as far as history goes, though, I think when it came down to why, or when it comes down to why it's generally believed that it's like a white person thing, or privilege of white people who grew up, with that guidance and finances. I think that's literally only because of, in America specifically, the way slavery went and the way that they freed slavery, and how the economy and businesses like adapted with that, like throughout the years. So if at a time where there was complete slavery of black people or African Americans, obviously they're not going to have any sort of knowledge that the white people, have in their country that they got. So up until that point where there was a shift, there was never going to be any kind of American financial knowledge passed down with or circulating through black people.
Right.
And then when there was, and they started building their own wealth separately, those plans got destroyed by white people. And
the Black Wall Street?
Yeah, Black Wall Street. What's it called? Lake Lanier.
Oh yeah.
All of these different things, like, that plays a factor with history and what knowledge being passed down. Like, the same thing with history that happened and the miseducation with black people is the same effect that finance or financial literacy had. You know what I'm saying? There's a miseducation with financial literacy, and America is really just a capitalist society, bro. It's more. I feel like it's more capitalist than racist. So it might be a crazy take, but money speaks, bro.
Look, man. I will genuinely say that what you just said is, I will say that is accurate based off of my experiences, based off of other people's experiences, based off of other test subjects, I guess, that I can say that's been run. What you just said is factual. It's less. Granted, I will always say there are people that are still out there that are like straight racist, which is absolutely fine. We are at a point in society now where if anybody is a little too on the racist side, you can easily put them in jail. There was a situation not too long ago. Well, it was 9 years ago that this happened, but I don't know, maybe one of the people on my Facebook, they just seen like one of those article thingies, those random Facebook posts about it and stuff like that. But it was of a man and a woman. They were arrested The man for 15 years, the woman for, I think, 7 years or something like that. They were white in McDonough. They were driving in their trucks with Confederate flags, saying racial slurs and stuff like that. And then, they had their weapons in hands and stuff like that. So they got arrested for hate crimes. That was 9 years ago. I'm pretty sure that now you do anything remotely like that, which is racist and make people fear for their lives, then yeah, you're going to jail. But outside of that, it's mainly based off of economics. You could be white, and it depends on how the person responds, because you will have white people talk about other white people. Rich white people talk about hillbilly redneck white people and how they don't like them. Or how they don't mess with them, like type stuff. You'll see the same thing with black people. The black people that are living in, the Bel Airs and the what do you call that? And the Sewanis and stuff like that. All them nice neighborhoods. They'd be like, that's why I can't stand black people, because they don't like the culture, and the culture is normally like fixated around the lower income population. Definitely. And it's like, when we look at it from that perspective, that it's more so economic thing than it is a race thing, it makes things all the more easier to like just navigate, or just be able to walk around and like not feel like, oh, this person is, looking at me crazy because he's racist. No, he's looking at me crazy because my face looks scruffy as heck. I got on, some sweatpants that got holes in them, and some some Adidas flip flops. There's a hole in my sock, and I look like I ain't showered this morning. So yeah, he gonna look at me crazy because homie's all niced up, and then like he's like, what the heck is this guy doing with his life? Type thing. People do it all the time. Heck, I do it. I did that today. I'm literally sitting down, eating some food, waiting for Marley to finish with her dance. And I'm looking outside, and then I just see this dude. He had like, his shirt was messed up. I don't know what he was walking back and forth and looking crazy. I don't know what he was on, but I'm looking at him like, yeah, he's probably broke. And I mean, that's not the way that I should be thinking, but that's the first thing that comes to my mind. That's the first thing that a lot of people comes to their mind. So the thing is, okay, so now it comes to that question of what is considered racist. If a white person, maybe more stereotypical, maybe there's stereotyping what, or being prejudiced. I think that's the bigger word. It's less racism and more prejudice, because you can be, because I mean, black people do the same thing. I go to a store, I see some white lady, she just got out of her BM, she got her sunglasses and stuff, and then she's going into a store. To me, I'm like, okay, she probably Karen, she's probably gonna cause some issues if she doesn't get her way. That's just my initial thought. Or if it's an older white dude, then my initial thought is, oh, he probably got money, something like that, to some degree, because he looked like he just chilling. And that's just me being prejudiced, or me being stereotypical, because I'm used to seeing white people like that come looking like that. Now, when it comes to white people, they go to a store, they see, I don't know, some black dude, probably like over 6 foot, scruffy face, hasn't, gotten a lineup in a while, probably got a whole bunch of dreadlocks, and then his pants tight as heck. He probably think he gonna do some stuff. But is that being stereotypical or prejudice? Is that being racist? Because if that's the case, then I guess I'm racist too, because that's the first thing that's coming to my mind. I'm looking at him like, all right, what's going on here? Same thing if a white person that looks a little scruffy, maybe look like he hasn't bathed in a couple of days, is all here looking around all crazy at the store, I'm going to think the same thing. It look like he may be up to something. But that's just my initial thought. Everybody has initial thoughts, and based off of what your experience is just what you're gonna think of initially. If you naturally live in a neighborhood where it's a whole bunch of white people, or your community is mainly white, and you just happen to see somebody that's black that look ghetto black, they're gonna think you ghetto black. There's a look to ghetto black. There's a look to, I don't know, the YNs that be roaming the street. There's a look to rednecks. There's a look to rich white people. There's a look to rich black people. I had a dude, I was out at Flowery Branch after the basketball games last week, or was it 2 weeks ago, something like that. And I was at the Chick-fil-A. Homie coming to me talking about you one of them Falcon boys? I'm like, I think I need to be a little more swole than that to be a Falcon. But I had the look of somebody that played, sub sport. He knew I wasn't playing for the Hawks because I would have been. I think it was during the games when they were still in the playoffs. Everybody has a look, and based off of how you dress will change up how you look. Just looking at what you're wearing right now, they're gonna be like, "Oh, okay, that's Zach. He wears zip up jackets and tie and stuff like that. Probably just came from work." But exactly. but check out Zach on a Saturday morning when he come into rehearsal.
Yo, black sweat.
What, bro? It's a whole different. If you look at somebody, you're gonna be like, hold on, that's the same Zach that I just seen the other day. But it's just depending on appearance. Nobody would know that I make as much as I make as a black man if I'm walking amongst the regular people in Stone Mountain, wearing the clothes that I wear, the basketball shorts, the bootleg, the Crocs, tight old t-shirt and stuff like that, and got some like hair bonnet, well, not a bonnet, but some type of hair fitting on my head type thing. People just think that I'm just probably like some other black American that works some labor 9-to-5 job and stuff like that. Nah, bro, I work at a Fortune 500 company and doing pretty well with what I'm doing, but that's just how I dress. Now, if I'm going somewhere nice or decent, I'm gonna change up how I look because I prefer to wear based off of the occasion. So and that just becomes another thing, like because of what I wear and where I wear it, people tend to look and kind of make preconceived notions of the type of person that you are. If I have like a regular button-up shirt, even if I may look a little scruffy or whatever, and my pants aren't sagging, more than likely, nobody's gonna think that I'm gonna rob them. And I don't know, I feel like those people that tend to be doing some criminal stuff, they have a specific look to their face. Like you can kind of tell.
That's no good. Black force energy, bro. Like, scheming,
bro. You already know off the bat. Yeah, you ain't gotta say nothing.
That's discernment.
Yeah. And they always have it's the same look with them. I just don't get it. This is a black man saying this, and if I was white, I'm racist now? Nah, it's just it is what it is, man.
This conversation needs to be had, bro. That's a good point that you brought up. Even though like it's not the topic, right? Mm-hmm. But the idea of what's racist, to your question when you started, right?
Yeah.
I'm gonna start with this example, and then I'm gonna get into it. What would be racist, right? And I think you would be able to tell when it's racist for sure, more than you wouldn't be able to tell if it's not racist, right? Mm-hmm. And this is why. If you're a black man, right, who's dressed in a suit, fresh cut, mm-hmm. good fragrance, right? Mm-hmm. It's very apparent, that you're making money. You're not scheming. You don't got a ski mask on, trying to do nothing crazy. You have a family with you. You got a wife, some kids, right? And you're at a function with other people who are at your level financially, right? Mm-hmm. Of all races. And then there's a white person or family or whatever who's looking at you, still seeing somehow they're still being able to see a ski mask on your face and a bunch of little rascals behind you. That's racism right there. Simply put, because you have no reason to see.
You ain't got no reason. I give you no type of vibes if you just automatically are going with the fact that because I'm black, even if I dress the part, nah, he's still up to no good. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's. That's
exactly what it is. And then it's not even just black and white as far as racism goes. There's levels to racism. You could be a soft racist, where it's like
racist.
You kind of just say things that are kind of stereotypical based on what you know about black people, and you're just adding it in there unnecessarily. Like, it's not necessary. You know what I'm saying? But you're not causing no harm for real. Right. You're just kind of ignorant.
Yeah.
Versus the opposite. Like, when you're at max racism, bro, like, you're a hard racist. You use the hard R any chance you get. You know what I'm saying? You don't really put any thought to it. Like, as long as they're black, you see whatever you want to see. More than likely ghetto.
More than likely ghetto. It doesn't matter what they're wearing. They're more than likely ghetto. Oh, he said, bruh? Mm-hmm. Oh my gosh.
Exactly, bro. Like, what? They gonna try to cause you harm, all of that. And those be the ones that nowadays can get arrested, like you were saying. But let's put the racism, now that we defined it, to the side. Everything else is pure judgment, separate from racism. You can be judgmental and not racist, right?
Yeah.
And I don't mean to say judgmental in
I think a lot of it is discernment.
Yeah. It's discernment.
Like you were saying, discernment.
There's a sector too where it's status and respect. So initial interaction and initial whatever you see, you're gonna automatically, what you're doing basically is assessing the status of this person in those first few seconds. And then from status, once you've identified whatever status you believe this person's sitting at, whether it's rich, poor, strong, weak, that's what defines how you respect the person. All right, I sized him up. Seems like he could definitely knock me out. I'm not gonna mess with him. Boom, that's the respect. I'm not gonna mess with him or try to make him upset. Now you approach this person. At the end of the day, all of that is being prejudiced because you haven't even spoken a word to this person.
You don't know nothing about this person.
You know what I'm saying? But we're like automatically inclined to just prejudge people and situations and circumstances because it's discernment. I think it's because most of the time, actually, I want to say it's discernment.
I mean, to me, when it comes to dealing with people, I use that discernment and I try not to judge quickly, as I shouldn't. So like today when I was talking about the dude that I saw when I went out to eat, somebody could say that I was judging, but to me, I'm looking out for my safety. Not only that, I have my daughter that's doing dance classes literally 2 units over. So I'm just making sure that whatever is happening, if something were to pop off in this area, then I react quick. Because the state that the world is in right now and the crazy stuff that we see in the news, there's crazy stuff happening everywhere. And I live in Stone Mountain. So it's like, anything can happen at any time with anybody. So I see a dude walking around. He's out here talking to the pole and like got a weird lip in his walk and stuff like that. I'm going to be a little worried. I'm not going to sit here and be like, he's going to do something. But I just need to know where he's at and what he's doing. Some people are going to call that racist. And some people would say if I was white, then, they would say that is racist. But it's just being very cautious of the situation. Now, if he was to stop me, then I would probably feel... I could honestly say that I would probably feel a little uneasy at first, but because I need to keep the situation under control for the sake of not just my life, but the fact that my daughter is nearby, then, I just do what I can. Whereas somebody else, they may react differently and, go off of fear, whatever the case may be. But to your point, I wouldn't call a lot of people necessarily racist, just misunderstanding. If they're actually like vulgar and like, no. Now there's definitely this young boy. That kid was racist. And mind you, this kid was like 3-4 years old, but we were somewhere we were at this party. We was in Atlanta, mind you, and Hispanic. He didn't look like full Hispanic, probably like from Argentina. Not that that's not full Hispanic, but it wasn't like your typical, Dominican, Mexican type thing. It definitely looked like one of those other areas from South America. But young bull looking at me crazy, like just looking at me, laughing at me and stuff like that. And I think he kept saying, negro, negro, negro. I said, what?
Yo, what?
I said, what? And homie kept trying to kick me. I'm like, I'm looking at the lady. I'm like, yo, you better get your kid.
Like she was witnessing this.
The mother, she was there. She just kept saying, oh, sorry, sorry, sorry. I'm like, yeah, get your sorry kid out of here before I kick him. What are you doing?
Bruh, I can't stand those.
Oh man,
Bruh.
it's like what can I do? Like I'm like, this is probably like I'm probably like the first black person he's seen in a very long time or something. I don't know what would possess him to do that, but
yeah, I mean the mom is the first culprit.
Yeah, like what have you been doing with your kid, yo?
Mm-hmm. Like you're not slick talking about sorry.
Sorry, nah, bro. You're probably out here talking about black people in the car while the windows up or something. I don't know, but that was definitely very awkward. I felt offended to the max. This little kid called me negro, negro, and sitting here laughing, evil laugh, sitting here trying to kick me and stuff. I'm like, this can't be real right now.
Terrorized. Them moments do be happening. It be so real. It's like, bro, am I living in a movie? Like, is this real?
Is this real?
You know what I'm saying? There's no way I could be going through this right now. That's how it be making you think.
This cannot be real. Like, what was it the other time? I don't know if I mentioned this already, but there was like another time I was coming home from the basketball game and like I'm driving, getting onto the exit, I'm making a left. But because of the construction, I ended up blocking the road for the people that's on the exit to get off the exit. And then like this white lady in her truck, which is similar to, I guess, the situation before with the other white lady, but white lady in a truck, big old truck, got all lights in the bottom and stuff like that next to the tires, all that good jazz. And I think she had an American flag in the back. But she was just screaming, like cursing out each car that was passing by. And she's like, F you, F you, F you. She got to my car. She said, F you, nigga. I said, wait.
Yo.
Wait, what?
In public, just genuinely tweaking.
In public, yo, just straight out the window. F you, nigga. I said.
Wait, where was this?
This was I was off of, what street was that? Not Ronald, Steve Reynolds. I was getting
Reynolds,
on Steve
bro?
Reynolds, yo. I was over there, yeah.
In Duluth.
In Duluth.
freaking
I'm like, hold on. This is crazy.
Bro, man, Steve Reynolds is mad Spanish people over there. It's mad.
That's what I was confused. I'm like, first off, what are you doing over here?
No cap. You know,
yo.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's a thing where people from Jersey, like black people from Jersey or the North, they come down here and get called the N-word. And it's like they've never experienced it before until they come to Georgia.
It's so weird. It is so weird, man. I just never, I tell people this all the time because like where I was in Jersey, everybody's integrated for the most part. And if you're not integrated, it's because you got money.
Yeah.
You got money, you got bank, you living in the areas where it's mainly gonna be white people. But even then, like I think in those areas you still have the wealthy white people and black people and Hispanic people that all live amongst each other, and you know, Italians and Jews and stuff like that. But again, they probably still integrated as well. I don't think there's really a community where it's like majority of the people in this neighborhood is white like we do down here. And it's crazy because like while I was growing up, I'm in middle school, I'm in elementary school. It wasn't heavily diverse, but I knew white people. I had white friends. The white friends knew me always as the good kid. Always as the good black kid compared to my classmates. And the crazy thing was, it was true. Just looking back at it, I was the one that wasn't causing issues, the one that wasn't getting detention all the time, the one that actually, you know, was doing decent in class, the one that didn't live in the south side of, or I guess that didn't live beyond the train tracks. That's just how I was raised, though. So I don't know. Yeah, it's very interesting.
It is, bro, and that's a whole nother can of worms too, because it sucks. It has to be the good black kid.
Yeah,
good kid. Like you're
just a good kid.
You technically do not represent all black people, bro.
I sure don't. I don't know what.
Yeah, bro. But not like, I don't think there's any one person that represents an entire culture of people.
Nah.
So an example of speaking on it would be saying something like, you're the good black kid, because they can't simply call you the good kid without attaching the black part, because they see black people as
incapable of being good.
Right. Pretty much.
The default is that if you're black, you're more than likely acting up, disrespectful type thing.
Right. And yeah, we can say it's fair if that's all they grew up seeing.
Right.
But at some point in your life, you got to do some research. Like, as a grown adult, take the decision or make the decision to fact check what you're saying. You know what I'm saying? That's if you want to be fair, that's the way to go about it. But yeah, I mean, I don't know.
It's a crazy thing, man. It's very interesting. That was a good left turn. I ain't gonna hold you.
Where?
It was a great left turn. Get a buzz for that. I don't know what the buzzer means, but we'll go with it. All right, so what does building wealth even mean for 22-year-olds, 25-year-olds, especially being black in America, given the systems you actually live inside?
To me, it would mean basically being able to fund my life without struggle, like without hassle, without a second guessing. Like, I can say I can afford this and pay for that, take care of my family, and there's no stress in my mind because, like, I got it and it's coming in. So residual income is an aspect of that, as well as free time, like having time where I'm not clocked in working for somebody, slaving. Like 8-12 hours of my day is being sacrificed for a paycheck. So to me, that's what building wealth looks like. If I can build myself up to a position where I'm sitting comfortably and I'm sitting somewhere where I'm earning for less work, for less physical labor or manual labor, I think that's wealth. And then when you can pass it down and set up your future generations for success, that's what that looks like to me, bro.
Fair enough. I like it.